We've been talking about people moving into the right lane. There's a state trooper in Indiana who is getting a lot of applause because he stopped and ticketed a woman who was driving slowly in the left-hand lane. Driving slow in the fast lane, handed her a ticket. People across North America have been asking this guy, could you please come here and teach our forces how to deal with this? By the way, his name is Sergeant Wheels, as an extra funny.
Is it seriously?
Yeah, his name is Sergeant Wheels. So we checked out various laws because it differs from province to province in this country. In Ontario, there is no law saying that you have to drive a certain speed in the left-hand lane. It suggests that you keep it for passing and that you keep regular flow of traffic in the right-hand lane, but it's not actually a law.
Interesting.
It so is this woman was
rules. It seems like everybody knows that.
Right. And this state trooper said, look, I wouldn't have just stopped her for her speed. There were 20 cars lined up behind her. She was definitely causing a problem driving so much slower. And so he pulled her over and ticketed her because she was impeding traffic.
Listen, I love to walk fast, but when it comes to driving, this one gets tricky, if only because how fast is the speed you should be driving in the left-hand lane? And there's a lot of argument about this one. Is it the speed limit? Is it 20 over? Is that inappropriate to be driving so fast that you're now speeding in the left-hand lane? And then if you want to drive the speed limit, you're not allowed to drive in the left-hand lane?
Or people tailgate you. So in Ontario and on the highways, if you're driving, let's say the speed is 100, you're driving 110, and somebody's on your bumper at 130, to me that's also dangerous. And sometimes I tap my brakes a little bit just to remind them to back off.
Because if you are going, say you're going 100 in a 100 zone, like, isn't that fair, or does that qualify for right-hand lane? I mean, well, like I tend to drive a little fast, especially on my way into work in the morning when there's not a lot of people on the road, and I do appreciate the left-hand lane, but I also, like you said, don't think it's fair to tailgate, and I don't think that if you're going 100, that warrants, like, some people will flick on their high beams to get you out of the lane. That just creates way more distraction in itself.
Gary Schmidt is an OPP officer here in Ontario, and if you're watching, and I know he watches our show, you feel free to tweet and email us in on what we actually should be doing.
Yes.
I was always trained that the left-hand lane is for passing, so you speed up to move ahead, but then you move back into the right-hand lane. Not always easy to do on our 400 series highways if you've ever had to drive them.
True.
No, and not a lot of people just use it for passing. A lot of people just go in there to drive really fast. So
in general, yes.
Anyway, we apparently have a lot of speed conversations this morning.
We're very speedy people.
Apparently.